Star 99.9. It's another Star Acoustic Session, hanging out here at Little Pub in Fairfield. And today we welcome Charlotte Cardin.
Hi, how's
Charlotte.
it going?
Great, how are you?
Good, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So your song Confetti we're playing now on Star. And then you just released the new song too, Lonely With Our Love, which just came out today, right?
Yes, today. So it's going to be one of my first times playing it live in a few minutes. I'm excited about it. It's super fun.
So I was listening to it when it came this morning, and Confetti is more of like a dance song, I feel like, and then the ballad with the new song. So when you're thinking of an idea for a song or writing the song, do you think about that ahead of time? Like, oh, this is going to be, more of a dance song produced, or this is going to be a ballad?
So that's a really good question. Most of my songs start off as ballads.
Mm-hmm.
I usually write them starting at the piano or with a guitar. So they usually start as like definitely down tempo stuff, and sometimes they evolve into being like a dancier song. Confetti was different though, because I wrote it in the studio with my friend Lubalin, who's a really good producer, and we started right off the beat with like a bass line and a beat.
Nice.
So it was it started off as a dance track, and we wanted it to be like a sad theme to a fun dancey instrumental. So that's how that one started. But Lonely With Our Love was my idea, was to write a ballad, and we just kept it as stripped down as possible. But most of my songs usually start off as ballads and then they evolve into something else.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
And you do a lot of covers on Instagram and things like that. Is there any song that you've covered? Because obviously you have to really love a song to cover it, or even like do it as a video like that. Is there any song that you wish that you wrote it, so you love it so much that you're like, I wish that was my song?
There's so many songs I wish I had written. There's so many beautiful ballads. Which one? I mean, I was just listening to the whole album Golden Hour by Casey Musgraves, I truly wish I had written that entire album. I just think it's so beautiful. But there are so many gorgeous songs in the world, and I love covering songs. I feel like it's awesome to be able to tell a story through my own songwriting and to tell my story, but it's also very interesting to tell my story through someone else's music. I feel like music is all about sharing stories and feeling connected together through songs that we all interpret in different ways. And so I love covering songs for that reason. But there's hundreds of songs that I wish I had written. Yeah.
Now you're from Canada, right?
Yeah.
Montreal?
I'm French Canadian. Yeah.
Nice. Have you been to La Rocket? That's a random question, but do you know what that place is?
I do know, but I've never been.
We went, a bunch of friends and I went on vacation there one time, and we went there and we had the best time ever. So anytime anybody says, we're going to Montreal, we go, check out La Rocket. It's the best.
It is a fun spot.
It's
I yet have to check it out.
Yeah. But congratulations on the Juno Awards.
Thank you.
Yeah. So for your album, for Best Pop Album and Album of the Year. So, explain a little bit for anyone who's listening or watching. The Juno Awards are basically the big music award show in Canada.
Yes. Yeah. So that was amazing. We had the Juno Awards a couple months ago in Halifax on the east coast of Canada. And they have them in a different city every year. And we won Album of the Year and Pop Album of the Year. I was nominated in 6 different categories. So that was really, really fun. And I was for me, the biggest honor is to win Album of the Year. For me, in my opinion, it was just so exciting, and I was there celebrating with the people who had collaborated closely with me on working on this album. So a lot of my good friends, the musicians I worked on the album with, were all there with me. So and my team from my label, from my Canadian label. So it was really, really fun to just celebrate with them and to have that recognition, because we put so much time and effort and so much and sweat and tears into our album. So it's awesome when it was a lovely honor to win those.
Yeah,
those
to get
awards.
recognized like that is fantastic. So when you first started out doing music, you were doing some modeling and acting before that? And then, so what made you decide to take the music route a little bit more?
So I've never done any acting. Mm-hmm. I was modeling when I was a teenager, from like 15 to 19, I would say. But music has always been a part of my life ever since I was like 3 or 4 years old. I for as long as I can remember, I've always loved to sing. So my dream was to be a singer and a songwriter, and that's really what I always visualized and envisioned and manifested was to do that. So modeling was more of a means to an end. Like I was lucky enough to do that for a few years. I was able to have, I guess, a little bit of money to like buy instruments and have like a bit more financial liberty to do whatever I wanted when music wasn't, I couldn't make any money with music yet. And so, but I never loved modeling very much. It was never an industry that was for me. So I just kind of did it because I could, and it was a good opportunity to, be a little bit more free to focus on music.
Yeah.
But I always envisioned, and dreamed about being a singer and a songwriter.
So music was more of your passion. So
it was always my passion and always what I really hoped for. It's
so funny that you say at a young age, because I have two daughters, 5 and 2, and they're constantly just singing along to things. I feel like music just naturally, as a kid, you connect with it right away because it's just something that just naturally comes to you as a young kid.
And it's so universal. I feel like music, you can listen to a song in many different phases of your life and feel all kinds of different emotions with the same music and the same song. And I think I'm sure your 2-year-old can express and feel very different things than your 5-year-old. And then when you listen to certain things, you can express and relate to it very differently. And I think that's the most beautiful thing about music, is that it's so universal, no matter what language it's in, or no matter what genre it's in, and no matter how old you are, what story you have behind you. Like, that's just, music connects people together and makes everyone feel very beautiful things. And so that's fascinating, and I love it so much.
It's great. That's awesome. And so what do you have planned for the rest of 2024?
So I'm on a radio promo run in the States right now. So we have 2 more weeks of traveling everywhere around the States, going to radio stations and performing a few songs. And I have a bunch of festivals in Europe this summer, mostly in France, a few in Canada. We have one in the States, in Milwaukee.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, that's super fun. I've never played it. It's called Summerfest, and that's a really cool festival.
Nice.
And then I'm going to be touring in the fall as well. Mostly in Europe once more, but hopefully I'll be coming back to the States soon. We're really looking forward to that. We had a really nice tour all over the U.S. last October and November. Yeah. So we were on the tour bus for 2 months, kind of driving all over the U.S., and it was really fun. But hopefully we'll be back soon for a proper tour.
That's awesome. Yeah. And before we go, you have a song called Jim Carrey.
I do, yeah.
Do you have a favorite Jim Carrey movie?
Yeah, I like the sad Jim Carrey stuff. Yeah, my ultimate favorite is Eternal Sunshine for the Spotless Mind. It's so beautiful. Yeah. And I also love The Truman Show.
Oh, The Truman Show is great. Yeah. I like The Mask a lot. The Mask is fantastic.
Good. Yeah, it's fantastic.
A lot of musical numbers in The Mask too.
Yeah. Very. He's incredible. He's brilliant. But yeah, I'm a fan of the sad Jim Carrey.
Yeah. The song's awesome. Yeah. I was going through a bunch of your music recently, and that song came on. It was great.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Well, thank you again for doing this for us today. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Charlotte Cardin, starring your 9.9.